I'm Pamela Portnoy.
I'm Alexa Marie Anderson.
And no one's okay. All right, we're back.
We're back. And now I'm stuck like this because I have Mike in one hand, martini in the other, and that's
I know. I really want to take a picture
that's
of you, actually, because it's really good. Yeah, we can't have Alexa move too much because she's doing handheld mic. Yes, very good. That's a gem of a photo.
I love the handheld mic, though. I don't know why.
Because you're a singer.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I feel more comfortable with the handheld mic because I'm used to holding the microphone when I sing. Maybe you are right.
Do you feel like maybe like sharing a tune?
Oh, no. I'm good.
Maybe like a bar? She's like, no. Just because they can't hear you doesn't mean I won't tell them what you're doing with your face.
I'm too busy drinking this martini to sing.
She was like, Pam, stop making me sing. One day I'm going to get her to sing for you guys.
We'll see.
Patience. You know? Patience and it'll happen. Boom!
Oh, and there's the segue.
There we go. We're going to explore the concept of patience because we have none.
Yeah, I was going to say I have zero.
When we decided to tackle this, what were your thoughts? Like, what do you think of when you think of patience?
I think, oh gosh, I think patience takes a lot of practice and a lot of discipline.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, because it's interesting. I think because I know that I have to be so patient with this career that we are both embarking on, I feel like I just have no bandwidth to be patient in any other aspect of my life.
Yeah. Our patience is used up in the workplace, and then in our personal life, it's not there.
Yeah. Like if something goes wrong, if it's not solved immediately, I start to get very angry. Especially if there's like an obvious solution, but the other person in the problem isn't agreeing with me. You know what I mean? Right away. I get very upset. And I have to remember to be patient, and it will work out, or, you will resolve it somehow. But I tend to get very, very quick-tempered, I guess, would be the word for that.
It's interesting because I feel like they're almost two. I'm sure there are more than two, but when I think of patience, I think of two different things. I think of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think of tolerating.
Yeah.
And those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
The waiting thing, I experience a lot with acting and auditioning. And I don't know if you do this, but I drive myself bananas after auditions because I start doing the mental math in my head. Okay, I saw the shoot date is this. So callback should be, I'm guessing, around this date. And if callbacks are on this date, I should probably hear whether or not I have a callback by this date, which means that I have this amount of time to prepare if I get a callback. And then there's this much time between the callback and the shoot. I do all this mental math, but it tortures me because what everyone tells you to do after the audition, I know you actually don't do this, but you're actually like a healthy human when it comes to this. People tell you to like throw out your sides, like let the audition totally go when you leave the room. Like if you like, I think the mentality behind that is if you keep your sides, you're like hoping that you're going to hear something and you're hanging on to it in a way that's just going to drive you crazy.
Totally. In fact, I think what helps me, because I am pretty, I don't know how this happened. I probably have, lots of rejection. I finally got to this point. I totally forget about the audition the second I walk out of the room. And because
how do you do that?
Because I've changed the way I walk in. Because instead of walking in being like, I'm going to book this job, I'm going to book this job, I'm going to book this job, I walk in and I go, I'm probably not going to book this job, but I'm going to make them love me.
Yeah.
And that helps me because then I'm not like, oh, I'm waiting for them to call, I'm waiting for a call. I'm just like, you know what? I think I made a good impression and we'll see where that goes in the future.
I'm pretty secure with making a good impression because I work hard and
yeah, of course.
I know that I'm not going to show up unprepared.
Right.
And I'm going to show up making choices. But there's that thing of like, you know, and it's wrong, right? Because like it's not good for you. And like chances are that you are going to get rejected in this industry. But I can't help it. Like if you put your heart and soul into something for like 48 to 72 hours, sometimes longer, it's literally all I'm thinking, breathing, doing, eating for that amount of time. And then it's just really hard to let go.
No, I get it. I get it. Like I've been there, done that, the whole thing. And it was so toxic for me. And so I had to just change my mindset. And I had to be like, well, I'm doing this for me. I'm going to do a good job on this audition for me, not to book the job. Because chances are, and actually I got this advice from a fellow actor, chances are you're not going to book that job. But you might book the job after that with the same people, possibly. So if you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you have to change. And it's not, and it's interesting because I've shared this mindset with Shane and he's like, well, I think that's very self-deprecating that you walk in there and think that you're not going to get it. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm not saying that I'm walking in there and I'm putting myself down. I know that I'm going to walk in there and I know I'm worthy of getting the job, but I also am mindful that like, I might not. And that doesn't mean that I didn't do a bad audition because I'm going to do everything in my power to prepare and make sure the audition is badass and they remember me. But if I don't get the job, that's not a reflection on who I am as an actor.
It's just interesting because I feel like everybody has to do different sorts of mental gymnastics depending on how they work individually.
Exactly. Like that's my way I do it. That might not be your way. That might not be the next person's way. I totally understand that. Yeah.
Because I can understand what Shane's saying. Like if I go in and I'm like, I'm probably not going to get this, it's probably going to affect my energy in a negative way. But that's just because of how I function.
Yes. Everyone's different. I think you have to find your own mind game with it.
Yeah.
As silly as that sounds.
And I think that's exactly what patience is. It's mental gymnastics. And
Absolutely.
So like I mentioned, like a big way that I handle patience is mental math. And like I start cutting time into portions, like not even with auditions, even like on a drive. Like if I'm going somewhere that's far away, I'll be like, oh, like it's going to feel like nothing after I hit this point.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I've been doing this since I was a kid and I still do this, like if I'm really excited for something to happen, I'll be like, it's this many sleeps until this thing happens. And like, I know once I hit like 3 sleeps, it's already happening. And then the weird thing happens is I get disappointed. I'm like, oh, it's so soon, then it's going to be over. That's how weird my brain is.
No, I get that. No, I
get weird. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is in 3 days. That means it's like over already. I can't.
No, I understand that. My brain works in the way of, I don't know if this has anything to do with patience. Here we are again. But my brain works in everything as a balance. So this is where my toxic energy comes out. Like, I think if something good happens, then like a bad thing's going to happen because something good happened.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's a terrible way to think. I don't know why my brain thinks that. I'm like, well, this many, like everything's going great. So like there must be something that's going to go wrong. And then I'm like waiting for the wrong thing to happen. I'm like preparing for it. Like that's neurotic.
I think you and I just like, we do the similar things, but differently.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely done what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Lately during quarantine, when I've been just feeling really down, because there are some days where I just feel really sad, really depressed. And I just like remind myself, I'm like, you felt like this before. Like, you know what it's like to feel sad. And then something good is going to happen, or you're just going to feel better tomorrow. So distract yourself. I think distraction is like a key to navigating patience for me. I don't know if that's like Zen in any way, shape, or form, but it's how I kind of navigate it. Like after an audition, I'll like always plan something fun, and it could be something small. Like I'll like go get a frozen yogurt, or I'll like get a nice lunch, or I'll like call a friend or like meet someone, you know, when that was still an option. Distraction is key to patience, because do you ever, what's that saying? A watched pot never boils.
Yeah, totally. The more you sit there and focus on something, it's just not, Not gonna happen. I agree. You have to distract yourself.
What do you do to distract yourself when you're waiting for something?
I definitely hang out with people, with friends. That is my biggest way of distracting. Like whenever I don't want to think about something, or like even if I've had a bad day, I like will text you or anyone and be like, "Hey, want to hang out? Want to do this?
Yeah.
Want to go get dinner?
I'm in the neighborhood.
I'm in the neighborhood." How many times have I like
That's my
texted you?
favorite thing that you do, because people don't really do that often. The thing is, like, you and I live fairly close to each other, so like it works out sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't, which makes me really sad.
Okay.
But I think there were times where like you legitimately like went to a restaurant like real close to me, and I knew you were there, and I'm like, God damn it, like I am missing out so bad. But that's definitely something I think Sebastian Maniscalco talks about that in his comedy. Like back in the day, he was talking about company. Like, people don't get company anymore.
People don't get company anymore, but I will. Like,
like if I'm in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm close to you. What are you doing?
I love that. That's like the loveliest thing.
In like a non-creepy way.
I see you.
I see you right now.
Why aren't you picking up your phone? I'm looking at you.
I'm totally normal, guys. Totally normal. I don't know. I definitely distract myself with hanging out with people, talking on the phone, calling someone. I'm like, tell me about your life.
So that's kind of impatience when it comes to waiting.
Yeah.
How does it manifest in your body?
Patience or waiting?
Trying to employ patience while you're waiting. It's hard to contain for me in my body. Like, I can't sit still.
Yeah.
Which I think is where distraction comes in.
Yeah. I find it hard to sit still in general.
That's true.
And then it's like a battle. Like, I'll like decide to do something, like, and then I'm like, wait, why am I going somewhere right now? Like, I have a day to, like, on my days off, I'll do it to myself too. And I'm probably just distracting myself from, what life is right now. But like, I'll do this thing where like I get up and I get ready for the day. It's my day off. I get up, I get ready for the day. I do what I need to do. And then I'm like, okay, where am I going today? Like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Like, I got to go somewhere. And then I end up going somewhere and I'm exhausted. And I'm like, wait, why am I out? Like, I should be home watching a movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's this weird, like, distraction game I play with myself. But like, it's not what my body really needs. My body needs to like relax.
Yeah. I don't have a problem sitting still. In fact, I have the opposite problem. Like, I woke up this morning and not when I woke up, but like I noticed it like mid-morning, my butt hurt because I've been sitting too much.
I'm dead for you right now.
You're like, what is wrong with her today?
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, because I've just been like slouched in my couch. I've been just doing a lot of reading. So like, okay, that's the only thing like that'll help me feel better about the situation. I've been reading a lot. And so I get so slouchy in my couch that like my butt and like one vertebrae on my back hurts. I just it's so bad.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
But when I'm waiting for something or impatient, it's like I'll be sitting for like a second doing what it is I need to be doing, and then I'll like get up and do something else. And I'll have like a 10-minute window of attention span.
Yeah.
And so I think like it manifested in a lot of people by like, restless legs, like bouncy legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of bouncing.
Yeah, it's extra energy that you have, and you're trying to. It doesn't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I often too try to distract myself, which this is a bad habit, but I'm sure people can relate. I hope people can relate. Buying clothes, new clothes, or like new decor that I probably don't need. I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this picture for my wall, or I'm going to buy this new skirt, but like, I don't need that skirt. Like, I'm just trying to like fill a like, especially now, like fill a void of like a creative energy that isn't, being used as often as it was,
before.
That's
really interesting that you say that, because I experienced the same thing, but I've learned that that's real dangerous of me. And so I've disciplined myself enough now that I'll like go on the websites and I'll like put it in the cart, but I won't pull the trigger.
Yes.
I'll wait and I'll be like, if I still want this in a couple days,
Yes.
then I'll get it. But I'm not going to let myself get it on a whim. And usually I forget about it.
Yeah. That is key. That is key.
I think I'm just getting the fix by like looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so strange.
There's been a lot of online shopping during quarantine, for sure.
What is that, do you think?
I think it's everyone's, and like honestly, I do think it relates to patience because everyone's just waiting for this to be over, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just finding ways to like fill our time, distract ourselves, try to be as patient as possible because we're all just like we want it to be done.
Yeah.
Like this is annoying.
Yeah, I've never been like I want this year. I've like jokingly said that, but like I've never actually meant it when I said I want this year to be over.
Oh, like I'm waiting for 2021 to happen.
I'm over it.
I'm like, where is it? Which is terrible because it's like you want to live
time
in the
and
moment.
it's precious.
Yeah, it's time. It's precious. You want to live in the moment. Like it's hard. It's really hard. Gosh, like wow, patience really is a deep, deep hole because I feel like just having patience on the day to day is like stem to like living in the moment and not think because like I'm always thinking about what's happening next.
Yeah,
I'm always, and I think what helps me too is having something to look forward to. I don't know about you, but like planning things in the future, having something to look forward to is really helpful for me. It helps me stay patient, but like, is that really healthy? Because then you're not living in the moment. Like it's a weird game we play with ourselves, right?
You legitimately took the words right out of my mouth just now because I was going to bring up this episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I absolutely love that show. And there's an episode where Julia Louis-Dreyfus is on the show and she's talking to Jerry and she says that I think her mother told her that the key to happiness is always having something to look forward to, whether it be a small thing or a big thing. And so that's an interesting thought because I do relate to that a lot. I always try to find something like to be excited about.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of like really smart friends that talk to me about like mindfulness and meditation and being in the moment.
Yeah.
I actually have a dear friend that has been pushing me to meditate lately. And I sit there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I breathe. And I really just try to focus on nothing else other than my breathing. And at the end of it, I legitimately do feel calm and grounded and better.
Yeah.
But I think there's a reason why doing that is so challenging for people.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult for me. Meditation is extremely, extremely difficult for me. Not even difficult, uncomfortable. Like I remember trying to meditate once. I couldn't even meditate for 5 minutes, Pam. My body was like finding every way to like get out of the situation. I started giggling at one point. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was very, very uncomfortable for me to like sit there. I've gotten better at it because I've, done it more than once now and I've gotten better.
And you've done the boredom exercise?
I've done the boredom exercise. Yeah. So I've gotten better at it for sure, but it's definitely difficult for me. But you're right. Like it's like a refresh button almost. Gosh, like your body, your brain, like everything's so connected. Everything is so like, I don't know. Cause I think like as much as we talk about, especially in this time, like our physical health, right? Cause this pandemic is happening, but like your mental health is just as important. And in fact, like, even if you're not physically ill, if you're, mentally you're not in the best place, you can actually cause physical problems.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? You really have to be careful. I don't know.
Oh my God. One of the things there was like, it's been a roller coaster, right? And
yeah,
just because I'm doing great this week doesn't mean like I'm going to do great next week. But there was a dark period there for like a few weeks that I was having a panic attack like every day. And I was like just scared of everything and uncertain of the future. and just feeling all sorts of things. And I would call my mother a lot, which I've always found to be helpful, but like I've never called her for support so consistently and so much since I was like probably living with her, you know, like since I like was young. And there was a point, like my mom is like one of the kindest, most sweetest, supportive people on the planet. But there was a moment where she said, Pamela, I think you're making yourself sick. It's like the mental and she was like, right. And like getting a handle on like my thoughts was so key to like physically feeling better. Because I was convinced, I was like, oh my God, there's something in my throat. My throat's acting up. No, it wasn't. It was my brain.
Dude, absolutely. Like, I mean, you witnessed my period of time of like having stomach problems.
Yeah.
And that was totally anxiety.
Yeah.
And now I know that, like, whenever I have it, I'm like, oh, I'm anxious. Great. Fabulous. You know what I mean? Like, I know, but like before, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm sick. Like, I literally thought like I might have had like Crohn's disease or something because I was having like such like issues with my digestive system. But it really was like, it was just anxiety.
Yeah.
Which is
it's a really powerful thing. It's amazing what the brain can do.
Totally.
And so it makes me think like if it can create that kind of negativity in our bodies, like imagine the positive things that it can create as well.
Right. Exactly. And I'm so happy you said that because that's something that I just realized like literally yesterday. And that's something I really want to work on is like really just like thinking about, instead of like, I think it's focusing on the negative. I want to focus on more of the positive and see how that helps me physically as well.
I think that's a great goal.
Yeah.
Do you have any performances or films that demonstrate patience? Any memorable moments? Do you want me to go first?
You go first. I'm thinking.
She just did the most refined eyeglass adjustment. It was very nice. Have you seen the film The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock?
Yes, I have.
That is an excellent demonstration of patience. For those of you that don't know, spoilers will be included, the two main characters are pen pals. They live in a house. They share a house, but at different time periods. He is, I believe, 4 years behind her.
Yeah.
So he owned the home before her. And it's like they communicate through like a magic mailbox. It's an amazing film, you guys. Like if you guys are looking for a really cozy quarantine romantic movie, definitely watch that one. And so they keep trying to meet.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll wait 4 years and I'll find you. Tell me where to be at your time tomorrow and I'll make sure to be there in 4 years. And they can't figure out why they're not able to meet. He's like, I don't understand. Like, what happened to me? Like, I love you. Like, I want to see you. Like, I don't understand what happened. Spoiler, like, he dies on a timeline. And so he wasn't able to make it. She figures it out, tells him not to go to the place where he dies. And it ends up okay. But, like, he legitimately had to wait an extra 4 years to see her. So I think at that point they were, like, already writing for, like, 8 years or something.
That's insane.
And, like, he shows up to the place finally, and she's like, you waited. He just, like, grabs her and kisses her. It was, like, really cute.
I love it.
I love that movie. It's a good one. It's a good romantic film. Lots of the romantic movies have the element of major patience.
Yeah, I was thinking of Dear John.
Yeah.
Just writing the letters and then...
Long distance relationships are really tough.
Yeah. I mean, what am I saying?
I love that you didn't talk about that we are 29 minutes
I don't know what that
on the
says about
patience
me.
episode. It's because you probably are blocking it out because he just moved in with you.
Yeah, I'm just like pretending like it didn't happen when I was legitimately in a long distance relationship for 3 well, okay, I can't say 3 years. I'll say 2 because we did break up for a year, full disclosure. But
you
like,
still were talking.
Yeah.
And
yes.
very much, loved each other and all that stuff.
Yeah. A lot of distracting. Wonderful friends, focusing on my career, which leads me to...
This is what I was going to say. And stop me if you're like,
Okay.
no, I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
We're talking about like dissecting time.
Yeah.
I remember there was a period for a while there that you were like, I need a plan.
Yeah.
If we don't have it, like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to reconcile waiting.
Yes.
There needs to be an end game.
Yeah. So like, I think for me, like, that is where I don't know how to have patience when there is no end game.
Yeah.
When there is no plan, when there is no like, there's no stepping stones to get to where I want to be, I struggle.
I think that's a totally normal thing. It's like, I can wait.
Yes.
But just tell me until when.
Right, exactly. Like I need to know what is, and so a lot of our long distance relationship, there wasn't a plan. Hence the year breakup. Because I was like, no plan, no relationship.
No plan. Bye.
No plan, no relationship.
I want to come up with like a rhyme for that.
Serious. No plan, no Shan.
Oh my God.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
No plan, no Shan.
Shan.
Yes, plan.
Yes.
Shan's here.
Yeah, Shan's here. But I also, like, when he wasn't here, I had my career to focus on. So I was just thinking also, like, we go through this pandemic and quarantine and he was still not here, I think I would go insane.
Yeah. Well, this time is just, like, crazy in general.
Yeah, but I think I would be even more, like, I'm very blessed that he is here because, like, I think that relationship really would have, and I don't want to, like, obviously, be negative about the situation, but like I think that our relationship really would have dwindled because I wouldn't have been able to handle not having anywhere else to put my energy and him.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Cause I think that really helped me. Like we were working on our podcast and like, obviously still doing auditions and things were happening. And so like to have none of that and then also him not here, you know what I mean? Like
you also like, you want the person you love by your side on a difficult time.
Absolutely. Patience. Wow. Yeah. I don't know where I found
We got there, though.
We got there. I mean, like, yeah, I need a plan. That's the key.
No plan, no Shan.
No plan, no Shan. If I don't have a plan, there's no patience happening for me because I'm like, well, like, I think there was one point, like, I will never forget, we were having this conversation and he was like, well, I think it's just going to work out. And I was like, what are you going to do? Wish on sunshine and rainbows and it'll all be fine?
Which is it shows exactly how frustrated you are for the person that's like, you always like feel like everything's going to work out for the best. That just like shows how frustrated you are.
Yeah. Because I was at that point where I was like, what are you going to wish on a shooting star and it'll just all work out? Great. Let me know when that happens, please.
But you were also talking about Dear John.
Oh, yes, Dear John. Well, gosh, how frustrating, right? Like, to be so patient during that. They're writing the letters to each other, and then, like, she ends up marrying someone else.
Well, you had Luke on the show a couple times, and he has a massive problem with the ending of that movie, too.
I have a massive problem with that ending.
I love Nick Sparks, honestly. I really do. But frankly, like, what the hell?
I need a sequel.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think with the turn it took with what she did, the fact that she married that man, and the fact that that man who seemed like a really good guy allowed her to marry him.
Agreed.
That they both did that was kind of lame. And I honestly was more affected by the love between Channing Tatum's character and his dad.
I agree.
I thought that was like the real.
That was a really powerful. They had a really interesting, but powerful relationship dynamic.
Yeah,
and great acting.
I don't know. I found it. I know there are lots of challenges with waiting, and I've been in a long distance relationship. It was a short one, so I understand that it's frustrating, and you, just like you mentioned, know that frustration. So I can't really like blame that character for like wanting to go find someone else because to each his own. But like, yeah, I am pissed at her.
Yeah. I totally relate to her, and I'll say this: like her situation is definitely much different because she didn't even know where he was in the world, and I also didn't normally worry about Shane's safety on the day to day.
Totally, which adds a whole another thing to it,
like,
which I can't even imagine.
That's like really difficult. But I'll say this: like, it seems like the easier option. It seems like, because like when you're in a long distance relationship, right? And so that's already hard as it is. And then you think about the prospect, obviously. And like we spoke about this. So before Shane moved here, and you think about the prospect of him moving out to where you are, or vice versa, like then it just seems like it's going to be an uphill battle from there because, you know, after you do long distance for so long and then one person has to acclimate to a whole new world, it seems like it doesn't seem feasible. And so like I understand where she's coming from because like, I'm not saying that I agree with her, but like there was a time where I was like, well, I can't even like fathom that. Like I can't even fathom, like we've done long distance for X amount of years. He moves out here and then what? Like, especially since like Shane and I were so young. And so like we like graduated college and like then I left. Mm-hmm. So like the last time I really was in like a day-to-day relationship with him was like literally when I was 21.
Right.
Fast forward, I'm now 26. He just moves out here.
She just had her birthday this month, you guys. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God. Thank you. But like, it's weird. It's like, it's a weird, like you talk about like a wasted time. Like it wasn't a wasted time, but it's a weird, like you feel like these years like almost didn't happen. And so like I couldn't even, there was a point in time where I couldn't wrap my brain around it. I was like, well, I better find someone here because this is like it's just not going to work. Like I kind of gave up on it because I was like, it just seemed like an uphill battle to me in my brain. And so, and like, thank God for Shane, because honestly, he was like, I got it, piece of cake.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is going to be awful. Like, this is going to be so hard. Like, but there was so many times, like, even when we ended up getting back together, I was like, nope, I can't. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm struggling. Can't do it. Like,
you guys are very different, but you guys also balance each other out really nicely.
Yeah, totally. And like, he is very like calming and like understanding, and then also makes things comical, which really helps me. Very helpful. Like he'll make jokes of things and I'm like, okay, I think I needed that. I think I needed to take a step back and make this a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah. One of them, I've always liked Shan ever since I first met him, but one of the moments that I like really liked him, aside from like when I first met him, which he made a great first impression, you told me about how you were just like freaking out about the distance and like you were like at your wit's end and you just like laid everything out on the table for him. And I was like, oh God, like I don't know how he's going to react to like everything that she's saying. But he was like, oh, I really would like, why'd you keep this bottled up? Tell me, here's the thing. This is what we're going to figure out. Like, I'm like, oh, like I see how they function so well together because you guys bring such different energies because you are very passionate and like you fly by your pants, but that's not to say that he's not passionate too, because he obviously is, but you guys like have this like give and take that works really beautifully. I've noticed. Yeah. I tend to not like to like vomit my emotions on him, but like, and mostly because I think that's like a stigma, which is terrible for men, that they can't handle it. That's not the case. Like he's well equipped. And so, you know, it's my own like insecurity of like not wanting to talk about things. But like, yeah, like you said, like I was afraid to like talk about all those things and like my fears. Like I just thought I had to like deal with it and move on. And he was like, no, like this is how it's going to work. Like we're going to talk about it and figure it out. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I guess that's how it works. It is interesting talking about stigmas like that, like men and emotions and mental health in general.
Yeah.
Because that was the topic we were talking about with Alexandra, about how there is a stigma about talking about it. Like, I mentioned that I go to therapy, and she's like, wow, like, that's cool that you're mentioning that. I don't think it should be a stigma.
No.
Everyone has feelings and thoughts due to this fucking crazy human experience.
Absolutely.
And everyone should be able to express it in the way that is best for them.
Agreed. Listen, we're all feeling it. And as soon as someone shares something, it makes me feel better because most likely I'm feeling the same way. It's almost like in school when they're like, if you have a question, ask it, because most likely like someone else has the same question.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, in school, like you're sometimes.
Oh my God, I love that analogy. That's a beautiful comparison.
Yeah, because it's like I remember being in school and like sometimes you're afraid to ask questions. You don't want to ask a stupid question. No one's asked a stupid question, even though there are no stupid questions.
I fucking love that you just said that.
That's
so dead on. Yes, because I've been struggling with that. Like, people are like, "Why you're so vulnerable? It's so brave." Why? Why is it? Because I know that what I'm saying isn't unrelatable.
Yeah.
I know that these are things that I privately, you know, talk about and express day to day. And I know that a lot of people agree and are feeling the same way. Why is it so wrong or like weird? What? Not wrong, weird to talk about it.
Absolutely, because most likely it just takes one bold person.
And I'm not trying to like say like I'm that person, but I just like think it's great to talk about.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing, like at the end of the day, like even if you are the only person thinking that, then we're all unique people. Like we all, you know, feel things differently. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyways.
We're exploring the frontier of our emotions and our brains.
Right, exactly.
No one's okay.
But chances are someone somewhere is going to feel the way you feel. Because listen, we're all human and we all bleed red.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we're all made up of the same stuff.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. So I think it's important to talk about those things because, and you know, it's interesting because even when I started to open up more about my like long distance relationship to other people that I wasn't as close to, but were acquaintances with, they were like, "Oh, I know so-and-so that went through the same thing." And I was like, fascinating. Can I have her number?
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
If you're into something, there's someone out there that's going to be into it too. If there's, you know, something that you're afraid of, there's someone out there that's going to be afraid of that same thing.
Absolutely. We're
one is alone. It feels like we are right now, but we're really not.
Totally. But you're not. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most?
Like in this very moment or like in general? Like when
whatever comes to mind first.
Oh, what am I looking forward to? I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm just really looking forward to taking myself out on a date to a movie and getting a big giant bowl of popcorn.
That's nice. Do you butter your popcorn? Salt your popcorn?
I like to do both.
Ooh, yeah.
I like salt.
Do you put candy? I like to throw in like M&Ms or Reese's Pieces into my popcorn.
I've never done that, but that's
you get the salty sweet mixture. If you do it right when it's warm, it starts to melt too.
It's kind of so at home sometimes when I make my own popcorn, I will throw some chocolate chips in there. But I've never thought about doing that at the movie theater, like getting candy and popcorn and then putting the candy. Oh, that's so smart.
I would never think to do that at home. Like I don't make popcorn at home.
I do, weirdly.
It's not weird. It's just like, that's cool.
I like popping popcorn.
I never get the right timing done on the microwave.
What do you mean? You just hit the popcorn.
I either like keep so much unpopped. It's me, Alexa. I either keep so much unpopped, even though I've gotten so much better over quarantine with my cooking.
Yeah, you've done great.
Or I burn it. So maybe I'll give it another shot now that
I've definitely burned popcorn before. That's no fun.
Yeah, no.
So not tasty.
Yeah, it gets too smoky.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to?
At this particular moment, I'm having like a blast podcasting with you, but honestly, like I kind of want to turn on my air and like flash my air conditioning unit. I'm so hot.
No, I'm dying. I'm sweating. Like
I'm dripping.
I can't wait to turn my air on.
It's really bad. It's kind of disgusting. Like I'm so sweaty. So I'm excited for that. What else? I didn't walk today, so I'm gonna go for a really nice walk tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm gonna go for a walk with my friend Olga. We're gonna go socially distanced walking, which will be nice.
That sounds so lovely.
I'm looking forward to that.
Are you going later in the day when it's cooler?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. Key. That
is key.
It's still gonna be 90, you know?
Yeah. But at least
we'll make do.
The sun won't be like beating down on you, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be better.
I'll take a beverage with me, you know?
Yeah. Shane and I have gone on a couple night walks and it's not been so bad. It's been nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
How has it been having a roommate?
It's actually been okay. Like, it's so funny. Like, my crazy self, I was like panicking and I was like, I don't know how this is going to be. And like, you remember?
Yeah.
I was like, what if he comes and he hates it or I hate it? Or
I think we've talked about that on the show.
Yeah, like totally having meltdowns about it. It's fine. And turns out he's a lovely roommate. He's clean.
What do you know?
Very clean. I think he knows me well enough by now. Like one day I came home and I saw him like wiping something off the floor and I was like, what's happening in there? And he's like, sorry. Like, I just like, there was some like hair from like shaving and he like literally was like picking it off the floor, like one by one. I was like, oh my God, I've changed him. I was like, we've lost him. But no, and like surprise, he's like an incredible cook.
You thought that you would be the one cooking.
I thought I would be the one cooking, which, I mean, with our schedules, it does work out better for him to cook. And not only does he like to, but he's very good at it.
I imagine that might be something he looks forward to because since he's working from home, he can take that moment to kind of step away. Yeah. Maybe go in the kitchen, put on some music and kind of like do something different than the work.
Absolutely. Like most days I walk in from work and like music is on and he's in the kitchen cooking. So yeah.
I imagine that's really nice to come home to.
It is. It's so, so different, but also so, so wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah. It's nice. I like it. It's good. And also like I can, you know, if it wasn't for long distance, who knows if he would have learned how to cook. So because he was living on his own with
that's true.
2 other men that probably didn't know how to cook. So he had to figure it out.
That's great. Are we okay?
Patience. Am I okay? So, no.
What's up?
So, just to fill you guys in from, I think the last time I mentioned that I bought a waxing kit.
Oh my God, I almost spilled out my drink. I almost spat it out.
I feel the need to give everyone an update because I did mention
I'm so happy you remembered. I legitimately would not have remembered to ask, and we need an update. How did it go, Alexa, with your at-home waxing kit?
Listen, I did it.
Alexa, let me ask you, did you try it out on an insensitive part of your body first?
No, I didn't, Pam. Because I'm impatient. Okay?
Way to connect the dots.
I'm very impatient. Like, that is just, I don't know. I struggle. And, well, okay, so here are my thoughts. I was like, listen, I'm going to know if it's not going to work for me on the first strip. Right.
You're a competent woman. Why wouldn't you?
I didn't want to waste a wax strip. I was like, why am I going to waste a wax strip on my arm when I'm supposed to be fixing the shit show of a bikini?
That's what I'm saying. I'm on your side. Like, I'm trying to like understand where your brain's at. So like, you're a smart woman. You're like, I can follow the directions.
Right.
I can do this.
And I was like, I'll know. I do one, and I'll know immediately, like if my skin has a reaction or like whatever. Right. So. Needless to say, I only made it through 4 strips, which I think is pretty good.
Were you sitting or standing?
I was standing. Probably shouldn't have been standing, though, I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what is the right... Here's what I have to say. I personally think it's probably not wise to ever do that, just because... don't do it in general because
how many stars do you give this experience?
I would give it 1.5, 2 being generous. But
what? Out of what? 30?
Here's the thing. You can't get the right angle on yourself. Like that is just not a thing. It's not. And unless and maybe if you're like a professional waxer yourself, sure. Probably that might be, you could probably grin and bear it, right? But like not only is it just like very painful because they're wax strips, it's not like it's not heated wax that you have fresh and ready. That aside, like especially if like that's an area that you've been shaving for a long time now because of quarantine, your hair is like so stubborn from shaving it that like it's just gonna be painful, like really painful.
Did you scream?
Oh yeah. Like
it wasn't just a gasp, it was like a
ah! Like it literally was like rip and then like a second and then literally
like at a 40-year-old virgin,
legitimately. And like I'm like there like it was doing its job. Like I saw that it was picking up hair, but like then there was like still so much more and I was just like I can't.
Yeah.
I was like I can't just, and then there was some bruising and I was like no. I'm
bruising how? I don't understand.
It's probably not bruising. Like I maybe like blood was rushing to the area. Let's just say that. Like, and it was noticeable. It was noticeable. It was like, that's not normal. I probably
shouldn't be happening.
Like, I probably should stop. Like, that's not what is. I don't think. No. So I tried.
I really, Alexa, I really don't like saying I told you so.
I know. Pam knew this would be a problem. And I was like, no, it's going to be great. Like, I bought this waxing kit. It's like flamingo. It's like, they have all these they had very thorough, nothing bad to say about the brand. I think they did a lovely job with what they're working with. There was very thorough instructions. They had the strips come in different sizes and shapes, and the after waxing like cloths, like the soothing aloe, whatever it was lovely.
Did you need an ice bath?
I probably should have just gotten an ice bath after that. But yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it. I think, until we're allowed to go to professionals again, we probably should just get a really nice razor. I think that's the solution.
Yeah. Did you frighten anyone in your household?
I think he was just more entertained. Like he was just like, he's been entertained with multiple things. Like I tried to do my nails myself. I like bought a dip powder kit, like the actual. He was like staring at me like, what are you dipping? He's like, those, he looks at me. He's like, those are like chemicals. And I was like, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Like, you have chemicals that you're like just like, dipping your, like he was just like so confused. And then he was just like, okay. He literally was like, good luck. He's like, I'll be in the bedroom.
He like knew.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm just gonna leave you. But like the funniest part was like I was so trepidatious to like stick it on. And so I was like going back and forth. I was like, oh, do I do it? Do I do it? And then I stuck it and I was like, well
now there's no turning
back. I was
back.
like, well now I really have to take it off. And I'm like, Shane? And he's like, can't help you now. It's like, sorry.
Did he warn you also?
Yeah, he kind of knew. I told him about it and he was like, I don't think that's gonna go well. He's like, you're really gonna do that? He's like, you're really gonna do that? And I was like, yeah.
Honestly, like you have balls. Like you have courage.
I was so positive about it, but it definitely,
I could never. Like no. And I have friends that do that successfully and have been doing it for many years, and I don't know how.
I think if you've been waxing, like your hair gets fine enough to a point where it's probably not as bad. You know,
Yeah.
so if they're
So maybe it went really well for them like the first couple times.
right. So if you're continued, like say I would have like not shaved, like I got the wax pre-quarantine, right? And then I
Yeah.
didn't shave until like using the wax strips, probably would have been fine. Like it not fine, but it probably would have been better. But like the fact that I like shaving makes your hair, and like I only know, I'm not an expert, I only know this from talking to my waxer. Wow, this is really TMI. The boys can leave now. Only the women listeners will care about this.
Maybe they're like morbidly fascinated by our way of life.
I don't know, but like because my waxer said
I'm
like
sure there are guys out there that are listening that like also wax.
listen, they have to manscape sometimes, right?
Fuck yeah.
So like that's a thing. But like so yeah, because my waxer said like listen, like she's even told me, because if I've come in like after shaving, she's like, I can tell that you shave, like this is gonna be more painful, just letting you know. And I'm like,
thank you for that.
cool, great, can't wait. And then also like there's put into like they're professionals, they're quicker, it's faster.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that quick. I don't know. I like mold over which way to pull it for like 10 minutes. Like
I don't know if the temperature helps too. Like
yeah,
having the like warmth.
probably. Yeah, there was no warmth.
Nothing was warm about
the experience.
Well, are you feeling better?
Oh, totally.
Can you sit down?
I can sit down. Everything's great. Yeah, it's fine. It is fine. Yes, it is okay. I mean, I really was
like my favorite thing ever.
I really was just trying not to have ingrown hairs. Like that's really what was happening, but alas.
I get it. It's, you know, this is it's temporary.
I tried. I really did. I tried.
Listen, it's a new sensation.
Yeah, you can say that again.
New vibes.
New vibes. Pamela.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
Yes. Elaborate.
I mean, I'm doing better than okay.
That's good.
I've been feeling a little bit better. I feel joyous this week. Wow, did you hear my stomach?
Joyous.
That was my
I actually
stomach
didn't
growling.
hear your stomach.
Oh God. Okay. Well, sorry for those of you that did hear that. One of the positive things that has come out of this whole thing is that I've been just really connecting with the people that I care about in my life. And this week I really got to catch up and play with and talk to someone very dear to me. And it just like makes me really happy.
Yay.
Yeah. It's a small thing, but
hey, it's the little
things. Good thing.
It's the little things, right?
Totally.
Patience.
What am I supposed to say after that story?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I felt like I needed to fill them in since I mentioned
No, I'm so happy you did.
But like maybe I have regrets. I don't know.
You're a brave soul. In more than one way.
Thanks.
Wow.
Brave or terribly, terribly misguided. I don't know.
Listen, sometimes we do things that we regret.
Yeah.
And we learn.
You know. Yeah.
At least we know that that's not for you.
Right. No, I don't. And
so like from now on, like
definitely
we'll just do something different.
Right.
Unless you're going to be like, well, maybe I did it wrong and I'm going to try it again.
You know, Pam, I had that thought, but I'm refraining.
Alexa, what? What?
I did. I was like, I literally turned to Shane. I was like, I think I'm going to do the other part tomorrow. And he was like, I think not. I think not. I think he's like, put the wax strips down.
Did you think of having a different strategy?
I did. I totally did. But here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I want to go through it again. And also, like, I still had to shave a little bit. Like the parts that I waxed. So I was like, is this really worth it?
The text I got from you, like I could feel the trauma through the phone.
Yeah. What did I text you? I was like,
you're like, I'm bruising.
I was like, I'm bruising. Not only is my bikini line bruised, but my ego as well.
I'm like, well, I hate to say I told you so. In this your time of need.
Oh my gosh. My dignity is on the floor. I need to go find it.
Like the wax strip.
Yes, I dropped my dignity in there. Went down the drain.
On that note, guys, if you have any similar waxing stories or anything that you want to share on our show, we want to know how you're feeling. What's going on with you? What are your thoughts? Tell us everything. Email us at noone'sokay@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the things. If for some reason you want to see more of us, you can follow us on Instagram at noone'sokay.
And a special thanks to Jordan Ross Weinhold, Sean Moore, Jason Crow, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, Shane Rings, James Liddell, and our podcast is recorded at Soundworks Studios. We can't wait to meet you!
Wait. What are those proportions?
1, 2, 3 with the gin, 1, 2 with the vermouth, and then 1, 2 with the olive brine.
Oh my god. It looks filthy.
It is a filthy martini, and
Wow.
I'm very happy about it.
No measurements, just counting. Just
It's all you
time
need.
as a measurement.
Just counting. That's it.